Hello, my name is Wanda Cloven, and I'm going to be making this presentation on behalf of my group. This industry analysis was created by Ariel Knowles, Sebastian Diaz, Stephen Cohn, myself, and William Swafford. It is an analysis of the airline industry. I'm going to start off by giving an industry overview. It is a business that transports passengers and/or freight. It is a large and growing industry. It carried about 1.5 billion passengers last year. In the past decade, air travel has grown by 7% per year. This analysis will look at the forces impacting similar organizations competing in the industry for the same customers, their suppliers, as well as likely sources of change and innovation in the sector. The five forces model is one way to answer the first basic question in strategic management. Why are some industries more attractive than others? We are going to analyze this industry using Porter's five forces. They are as follows: the threat of new entrants, the bargaining power of buyers, the bargaining power of suppliers, the threat of substitute products and services, the intensity of rivalry among competitors in an industry. The first one is the threat of new entrants. This threat has been considered low in our analysis. There is a large amount of capital needed to enter the industry. You would need a solid customer base or very quickly build one. Competitors have a very large advantage, and the time and investment required is quite extensive. The only threats that are faced are low switching costs, and no proprietary products or services are involved. The bargaining power of buyers. The threat here is considered medium-low. We have a chart in this analysis that rates it low. However, there are a number of factors that could bring it to a medium-low rating. There are a number of airline choices available to the buyer. There are third-party buyer agencies such as Travelocity or TripAdvisor. Tickets are purchased based on destination and price at the time. There is loyalty to firms. However, that is not the biggest consideration for a passenger that is looking at a lower price. There are a number of choices for amenities, customer service, and pricing and/or pricing. There is the category of bargaining power of suppliers. It's one of Porter's main points. We consider this bargaining power low. It requires a large amount of capital to get into the supplier business. It's estimated that costs around $200 million to make an airplane. There is a high level of expertise required. The two main suppliers of airlines are Boeing and Airbus. Suppliers have long-term contracts with firms. Generally, they are the only source of incomes. Airlines are the only source of incomes for suppliers. And planes are standardized throughout the industry. Once again, it makes the bargaining power of a supplier quite low. The threat of substitute products and services. This is a low to medium threat, basically because time is money, and that is a big leverage. Service is a level that can be considered. The price between other means of transportation is not always a factor. The risks include that, there's basically only one risk, and it's other means of transportation. That can be cars, charter buses, boats, and trains. The intensity of rivalry among competitors in an industry. The level of threat from competitors, this is high. It is a huge market with powerful firms. Profit is high because flying is necessary. Smaller and newer firms get pushed out. They don't have enough capital to compete. The established firms deal with high fixed costs in order to compete with and stay in the industry. The strongest forces are the established firms competing amongst each other. They find ways to market around each other. An example of that is JetBlue offers amenities while Southwest offers low prices. This chart shows the industry attractiveness. It lists the threats as we have outlined them previously in this analysis. Their key success factors in the industry are as follows. Airlines are a service business. To be successful, an airline must be effective in 4 general areas. They must attract customers. They must effectively manage their fleet, manage their people, and manage their finances. Successful airlines must do many things well. Not doing well in any one area may not result in failure as we define it. However, performing very poorly in any one area or poorly in 2 or more areas appears to make success elusive. We are looking at a chart that is showing the statistics that represent domestic market share. We can note here that Southwest Airlines was the leading airline in the U.S. with a domestic market share of 22.8%. The forces that drive change in the industry. Price is a big initiator of change in the industry. There are numerous submarkets within the industry, and the various firms differentiate themselves along this and other factors. An example is Virgin Airlines. They are seen as an upscale airline, and they are able to charge more for its flights. Spirit Airlines, on the other hand, competes solely on a low-cost strategy. Service and quality is another force. This usually goes along the same lines as price, but it serves as a differentiation strategy. Southwest excels at service. Spirit Airlines, for example, does not, but their price is low enough for many customers to ignore this. Variable costs. The ever-changing fuel prices is the biggest variable, and it does cause the cost of doing business to vary wildly at times. The future outlook of the industry is bright. The industry continues to bring in strong profits. New U.S. corporate market tax cut, the new corporate tax cut increases the profit or the bottom line. The industry brings in a net profit of billions of dollars per year. 2017, they brought in 29.8 billion. The longer routes are making it easier to travel around the world. For example, there are now non-stops from New York to Dubai, from India to San Francisco. The capacity extension is another factor. There are fleets of over 100 passengers, which increase by the year. The demand is high. People are traveling more than ever before. Airports are profiting as well. They are becoming entertainment centers for flyers. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you very much. And on behalf of my group, I would like to say that we look forward to succeeding in business because of this presentation.